This is Saturn hour, but I still find it glorious. Um, I said that Pluto in Aquarius, in general, people are going to look into the components, the core essence of sciences, both mental and physical. And Saturn is in Pisces, so Pisces is also ruling of like poisons, medicine, medication, seafood, the sugars in our food, the minerals in our food. And lo and behold, Lindt, Lindt admitted that it has heavy metals in its chocolate. So that's sweet food with heavy metals. Okay, Saturn's in Jupiter sign. And the components of a medication called ivermectin, which is basically prescribed to treat um, viral infection in the body, actually containing things that are naturally polluting to the body, removing the natural balance, um, whether it's alkaline balance or whatnot. So I'm going to put the caption for that medicine in the comments. We're going to be finding so many medical hoaxes. I said what I said. If you are invested in the pharma or in the food industry, especially now that we had like the meat with no meat, BBB gets more, okay? Um, I'd begin to pull the money out. Okay, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just like a human being observing data, looking at your Bolicolies, looking at your, because that stuff is invested there too. Okay, if you are and that can pull out to your insurances because, first of all, to your insurance coverage. This is where immediately the insurance companies, the medical insurance, begin to pull out, begin to raise. Okay, how much would it cost to insure a person um, at a certain situation? And they begin to pull out with agreements they have with pharma because they have astrologers, okay? And that would be, by the way, for some of the moves, that would be the right thing to do. Like if I was an insurance company and I had agreement with medical institutions that I would send people there and have like reduced coverage when it comes to that pharma or that this, I would begin to dissolve these today. Okay. um, and for us as people, or for you as the person who have medical insurance, um, unlike me, by the way, okay, both financially and because of what I have been through, both physically and when I came to ask for help. Um, so other than the obligatory thing that is taken from me, um, then I don't have say about I don't have, and that is for you as the medically insured person. I would begin to reassess what coverage you have, which you might not be having soon, not only because currency changes and social credit score, which will literally put you in the situation of Americans before Obama, Americans before Obamacare. I I highly recommend you, while you have the chance, if you can travel to the States or if you can speak with homeless people in the States, okay? Because like every person, until you've been in a situation, you don't understand what it entails. Just like until I've been in a situation where um, I nearly died because of medication, and there was no one, and I was sent back basically to my death unless I would manage to kick that out. And I was given some fluids and sent back to my death with no instruction to stop the medication, by the way. Then, So God forbid there won't be another class lawsuit. And that was after a kidnapping attempt and MK Ultra, with the same generic component that always has breakthrough research for a decade and a half, and people die, and people can't poop, and people can't breathe well, because autonomic muscles is also the lungs and the heart and the brain. I'm not now. That would be a good time to also treat people well, because, like, remember my previous video about trauma? You don't want to be the person on a heart attack who's getting olanzapine so that you wouldn't convulse later. Okay, like, they do give that after heart attack. They do give that after cancer. Okay, and you won't be able to blame the trauma victim for, okay, having a reaction to your assaults in spirit and in matter. So that's also something to consider. Okay, trauma is a real deal. Another way in which those things can affect us, a lot of people are going to come to the reality check, both regarding the food that we put in our mouth. If you think about bitter chocolate, let's say Lindt, bitter chocolate, even when you prepare like your own stuff, you would buy chocolate and then you would melt it. And I see all these YouTube things on this melted chocolate, and they think about, healthy snack. So especially like American folks, but not only. You'd melt like a bitter chocolate, and you say, okay, the more bitter it is, the less excess sugars it may have, or something like that. We're going to be getting yet another reminder about both the sugar components and what do we use to replace sugar, because Pisces is also what we use as masquerade. So both around our food, our sugars, but also our fish, salmon. Okay, I've been eating salmon. I've been eating recycled salmon in a can. If you ask what's recycled, it's basically the foods that people leave in the plate and untouched. What can I do? I've been very trained after people like Ido Nevo and Itamar Yaron has been contributing to taking food donations from me when I was working on my business. I've become very well trained. And by the way, Shani Saudi deserve award here. She was helping me a little bit with food, but then banishing, tarnishing my name. That was not helping. And that includes, by the way, those who were supposed to help me from social work, like Enosh Company, which is supposed to be helping people until it finds out that they are not okay with the pills and the fact that they are called something to do with housing when they don't provide independent housing, independently of ability to work, and so on. And Yuzma Derech Halev, which basically was somewhat supporting me, half supporting me, but never providing people assistance with recruiting people to my talks, wanting me to do public talking. But I guess if I would have a public talking about, how to use olanzapine, I would probably have millions of views. I would be Tom Cruise right now. Have you noticed that all the mental health influencers have to tell you to take your pills? Okay? And they always have a story. I mean, would Emily Harper be allowed to speak about the fact that she had a sister that died as a result of the pills for mental health? And she herself had huge problems with many medications. If she didn't have one medication that actually works for her and she wouldn't change forever? Or would she be canceled? Okay, you're gonna have to keep recalling that. We're going to be finding out about the hidden causes of disease. For example, the plaque in your teeth and the buildup can reach through the saliva to the heart and cause heart attack. This is how OG who was preparing honey with fermented garlic, okay, died. But not directly, because he treated that and he warned people about that. And then he was given something for his heart, which may or may not be a beta blocker. And that's the same antipsychotics that they prescribe also after heart attack and so on. And that's it. That's it. He didn't survive that already. So, but also for simple things like paracetamol, like people are going to look into the components, and that's where Saturn is giving us a huge reality check. What if you've been giving yourself or your children that thing you thought is safe food for you, the heavy metals in the food that can be organic food as well, especially because Saturn is agriculture and Pisces is how is our food watered? Okay, when I was escaping a home of someone who wanted to steal my ID and felt like really unsafe there. I was running through the woods, basically the crops that they grow in Negev area, and I wanted water, and there was something like water coming out, and I just filled the bottle and took a sip, and it was like in a Amir Kusturica film, because that was not water. Okay? They water our crops with that. How does that affect the food? The fruits, okay? There are methods to create healthy water again. There are methods to create rivers again. Entire Negev area could be flowing rivers and mountains. I'm willing to dig the half moons in my own time and space, and on the half moon that is actually successful. I'm not willing to shush the fact that we water our fruits and veggies that go to export with basically the waters that are